everyone. I want to invite four amazing people to the stage. This is what we call our CEO panel. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to bring four top-notch CEOs to the stage to be able to talk about the experience of owning and creating a business. If you would welcome me or help me welcome Shashank Sarkar, CEO of Arcus Lending, Long Don, partner of the Realty Group in Minnesota, Riley Smith, owner of the Riley Smith Group here in Miami, and Julie of Julie's Realty, broker and CEO. Welcome to the stage, guys. First of all, I want to thank you guys for joining us. I'm going to sit like this for a little relaxed. These couches are amazing. I want to thank you guys for joining us. There's a lot of people in this room that are going to pull away so much information from this very short panel. And I know that because no one got into real estate to be broke, right? And so I think that a lot of real estate agents have aspirations to either become an owner or run a successful team. And I know that we're gonna have different aspects because we have broker owner, we have team leader and successful team, we have broker owner and team. And then we have the owner of a mortgage company, which we have a lot of mortgage professionals in the house that also think about one day opening a branch or an extension of, or therefore, and so on. So if you could, just one by one, give a quick synopsis of who you are and maybe a little bit success of your company. Like, what is your company? What defines you?
As you already heard, I'm from the Twin Cities. I actually have a business partner here. His name is Mike Bernier. So I started a company in 2009, and I closed 1,000 transactions my first 4 years as an active broker. 2014, Mike and I became partners, and we started to grow the brokerage. We had 8 agents at the time. Today, we have 425, the fastest growing real estate company in Minnesota, and that's after letting go 180 agents.
Wow. And we'll talk about that in a minute.
How you doing, guys? Riley Smith, born and raised right here, Coconut Grove. Wouldn't have it any other way. Been in business 15 years now. I've run a team in Coconut Grove, Coral Gables, surrounding area. We are 32 strong as of today. Last year we closed 150 million, hoping to do so again this year.
Awesome.
Hey guys, I'm Julie with Julie's Realty. My office is in North Bay Village. I've had my license for 19 years. I've had my brokerage since 2007, so when everyone was getting out, I was getting in. And we've been growing. We have 120 agents, and yeah, we're growing.
Hi, I'm Shashank Shekhar, CEO of Arcus Lending. We are in San Francisco. I started in 2008, and in 2017, we were named the 3rd fastest growing mortgage company in America. I am personally one of the top 20 loan officers in the country with a production of $180 million last year. And currently, we are in 7 locations across the country.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Now, I want to dive into one of the biggest questions that I get asked all the time, dynamics of your company, right? We talked about it right now, and you guys immediately went to number count and volume. And so this question I'm going to gear towards this side of the sofa, if you will. You run a small elite team in comparison to a large brokerage that's also very successful. You're both successful, highly successful in your own rights. Why a large brokerage? Why a team versus a large brokerage? If I could start with you, Lon.
Well, I guess before I get started, I want to ask to see a show of hands. Who's here are like solo agents? I want to see your hands go up, like on your own. Okay? Who's on a team? And who are the team leaders that have teams under them?
Team leaders.
Okay, there's a few. And who are brokers in this room? Okay, and who are CEOs of your company? If you don't all raise your hand, that's where you start out trouble already. Because it doesn't matter if you're 425, 30, 7 offices. We're all a CEO of our own company. So it's all about the understanding what your end goal is and reverse engineer it back. So my end goal might be different than Riley. That's why Mike and I have decided where we want to go, and the way we get there is build a big brokerage. So at the end of the day, that's kind of a quick answer.
What is you decided, okay, we thought the goal, and we worked our way backwards, and we decided we needed to have 400 plus. We're aiming for 500, 600, 700, 800, get 1,000 agents. Why that versus I'm going to get 30 high-level producers, and we're just going to take over the market?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's about your why too, right? We all have a different why. For us, our why was we want to be the broker we wish we had when we were an agent.
Awesome.
So that's how we started out, and we wanted to help people because we believe we're all in the people business. So if you help people grow, you will grow and you will make money. So that's kind of what we started out. We actually started out as a team. We had a team of 8 when we first started out. And I think the new way for brokerages to grow is the team bridge model. It's a cross between the team and the brokerage. So it doesn't matter the size of the brokerage, it's the value that you provide to the agent that's on your team or on your brokerage.
Okay. And so, Riley, you went the opposite direction. If I look at you and I say, you should open a brokerage, you would laugh me out of the room right now. So why small? Why elite? Why focus on producers and become the strong presence that you are?
First, I hope EWM's in the house and they listen to this guy. Team friendly. The reason we went for the team model is that I felt like it gave me a model to be more hands-on with the agents. Also, a good friend of mine in the business, building his business, to remain nameless, told me there's a reason the word broker is in broke, right? Most brokers I know have a struggle, right? High agent count, a lot of turnover, and that really wasn't my thing. I just wanted to focus on what I know how to do. Didn't want to get distracted by where's the rent going to be, who's suing me now, what's happening. You know those joys right now.
Right.
And really be able to focus my attention on what I'm good at, right? Which is helping build the agents, giving them the platforms, the tools, the trainings, so that they can be successful. And sort of getting to my why, right? I've sold a lot of real estate. Now I'm moving to the next part of my career where my real why is really helping create real leaders and watch my team grow and see their growth. That's sort of my new why. And it's a little easier with 30 than with 400.
Gotcha. So now moving to the other side, Shashank and Julie, both of you came into the industry in a time where it was tough. It was tough to be in this business. And we may face that again soon. There's no way of telling 100%. It may not be as bad, but we may face it again soon. How are you guys preparing and how are you scaling your businesses for any market turn?
Well, being able to adapt and adapt quick enough is essential. And so really just being on the forefront of what's going on and, in the news and just knowing in your industry what is going on and listening to it and digesting it and being ready to react is very, very important. So, we are on the grind and we're constantly grinding away and doing our thing that sometimes we don't pay attention to the indicators in the marketplace. So I think it's very essential. Doesn't matter if you're working for a broker, if you're a realtor, you're the CEO of your own life. So even you as a realtor, you still need to pay attention to those, those indicators, those market indicators. So that's something that I do on a daily basis. I talk to the people that are around me, people that are in the same business, people that are in the mortgage industry, so brainstorm, be ready to be able to react and adapt to the changes in the marketplace.
First of all, it's really important to plan for things in advance. As in, we all know being in this industry is that if you're trying to be reactive all the time to what happens in the market, we got in the business in 07 and 08, and I know that's just a recipe for disaster. I typically plan 2 years in advance, so if I'm sitting in 2019, I'm already planning my business for 2021 and seeing where would that be and what kind of forces I could be up against, and then planning for it. The second thing is that what I tell my team all the time is that, look, mortgage is anything between $1.2 trillion to $2 trillion market a year, which means that if we are at $500 million to $1 billion, we are literally nothing in terms of the market share that we have. So even if, say, a $2 trillion market drops to $1 trillion, even at that level, really all we have to do is that if we are doing two loans a month, we have to be doing 3 loans a month, which is not that difficult because we are not the Quickens and the Wells Fargos of the world with 20, 30% market share, where the change in market dynamics should change our business too much. And that's why we always focus on the processes and systems. I always talk about the fact that your pre-acquisition, during acquisition, and after acquisition process should be so precise and perfect is that a little slowdown in the market should not impact us because we are not that big a player to be impacted by something minor. And I really, if I'm looking at the future, I'm not looking at any significant downturn. There could be a small downturn, and that's something we should all as professionals be prepared for.
Long, how do you coach your agents? How do you get them prepared to be, let's call it recession-proof?
Yeah, so to follow up on Shashank was saying too is have process system in place because
Right.
system run business, people run systems. If you don't have system in place, it doesn't matter if it's up and down market, you won't take advantage of it. So for us, it's about having pre-acquisition, acquisitions, and post. So following up on process and system. Also, even if you have a niche in your market, diversify your lead sources. Don't only have one. If you're only Realtor.com, they shut it down. You're only Boomtown. You're only YLopo. I mean, a lot of sponsors up here. Make sure you diversify where your business is coming from, so that when one goes down, you take advantage of the other one. The last thing I would add is understanding the leading and the lagging indicator. I think Julie said that a little bit. If you know this is a lagging indicator, the leading, you know what's going to happen. So you can start being prepared for it and be proactive. That's what we coach them to do.
And so as a team, being small yet massively dynamic, how do you prepare your team, or how are you preparing your business for any market shift or change that's happening right now, Riley?
I think the best way to prepare for the future is sort of to look in your past, right? I think we really have been lately working with our team to make sure you understand your numbers, make sure you understand where did the business come from, right? So then we can really delve into where you need to add extra energy, right? You may have to work twice as hard, make twice as calls to stay where you were last year, but at least if you understand your business, which I think most agents don't take the time to do, how do you know where to double down and what is most effective? So spend a lot of time looking at your business, where to come from, and working on which, there's a lot of buckets you can work on, right? But which ones are the most effective for you? How do we track it? So I think really tracking is something that not enough agents do, because that really helps predict your future.
I think one of the things that I would like everybody in the room to pull away with, and you'll hear it consistently with our panel here, is that you need to know your business. You need to know your business. You need to know your numbers. You need to know where your leads are coming from. You need to be able to diversify. You can't just focus on one thing and think that one thing's going to keep you alive forever. And I'll tell you that how many of you guys have been in the business, by a show of hands, how many of you guys have been in the business for 5 years or less? You guys are the luckiest. You have no idea. And if you've been in the business for 10 plus years, raise your hand. You remember. Am I wrong? You remember. The fact that you've been in the business 10 plus years and raised your hand proves to me that you actually knew and understood your business when the market changed. Because I know a lot of guys in Miami that were driving Lamborghinis and living on South Beach that were serving me a burger the week after the recession. If you don't want to end up in that position, you have to absolutely know your business and know where most of your business comes from. And like Riley Smith said, double down. It was one of the best pieces of advice I got right after the market shifted and everything fell over, like the world crumbled, right? And I remember talking to one of the most prominent agents in Miami at the time. She still is today. And I asked her, I said, what are you going to do? And she said, I'm going to double down. I said, what do you mean you're going to double down? And she said, man, if I have one bus bench, I'm putting 5 bus benches. If I'm getting leads from Zillow, I'm going to double down on that. If I'm getting leads from referrals, I'm going to make 2-3 times as many phone calls to ensure I get those referrals. And I'm going to shift with the times. And people who were selling super duper properties turned into short sale specialists and REO managers. A lot of your business comes from REO. Yeah. How did you get into the REO business? What made you go that direction? And why do you maintain it still?
Well, like I said, it's adapting. So in 2007, the core of our business was coming from foreclosures. So basically, I knew that if I was going to survive in this business, and that's why I started my own brokerage too. One of the main reasons was because I wanted to be in full control. I didn't want my broker to have the business that I was going after. And so that's what kind of gave birth to Julie's Realty, and now it's evolved into something else, which I'm very, thankful for, and I see big growth. But again, it's adapting to the market, and it was the REO business, and I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and contact all the different asset managers that are out there. It started with one great relationship, and I always say the story, it's don't take no for an answer. I had some REO listings that were going to be taken away from me because an underlying credit line was being taken over by another asset management company, and the lady called me. She's like, you have 9 listings, you're not approved with us, we're taking them all away. I apologize, and I was like, no. I mean, this was my lifeline, and I said, you're not taking this business away from me. I know you don't know me, but I promise you, I'm just asking for 30 days. Just allow me to prove myself. And if I don't prove myself or don't step up to the plate to your expectations, I'll gladly give you back the properties. So the reason for the story is this is back in 2007. She is my best asset manager that I have up to this point right now. I get the most business from her, from different hedge funds, and she's like, thank you so much for begging and allowing me to give you the opportunity. So, you know, that's how it all started. And then from that relationship, I was like, you know what, I'm not afraid to go and ask. And even if I get the no, I'm gonna keep pushing forward. And you have to do the same thing, I think, in business just in general. Don't take no and keep pushing forward.
You're also the same person that knocked on an asset manager's door and walked into his office with no appointment and
Yep.
made it known that he needed to work with you.
Exactly. So
I remember that
again,
story.
Yeah,
That's
no,
awesome.
you have to show up even when you call. They don't take your calls. They don't call you back. You got to do whatever it takes. If it means showing up and knocking on the door and talking to them, and even if they're going to turn you away, come back again. But luckily, I wasn't turned away, and I'm working with that company now as well.
Awesome. As CEOs, we'll ask a round question all the way around. Shashank, in production or not in production, and why?
I'm in production, and I firmly believe that you have to be in the trenches to teach and lead your team the same way. I know it takes a lot of time to be in production at any point of time, but I think I get a lot of respect from my team because they understand that I'm going through the same pain or same challenges as they are, and it also brings me all the new ideas that I'm trying on myself. And at my production level, I have the luxury of doing that. And if those ideas work, it's much easier for me to then percolate it down to my team members. So I'll probably stay in production for a long time because I see a value in being there.
Understood. Julie, you're in production.
I'm definitely in production. I love what I do. That's why I got into it. So I see myself being in this long term as far as producing. I don't compete with my agents, but the same way I feel like I can give them better advice being on the field and being on the grind. I also have a lot of great relationships with a lot of the agents that are out there, so I can help them in that aspect as well if they have an issue. More than likely, I've already worked with that agent. I can pick up the phone or that broker and have a conversation and usually get things worked out. So it definitely helps.
Riley?
Yes, still in production. Wish I wasn't, but got to pay the bills. I think I still have a few more years probably in production as I transition out, but I think slowly but surely my team is evolving. I'm getting better leaders in different markets, and I'm hoping that in the next 2 years or so I'll be able to step back and take a leadership role, do more coaching and stuff like that, and let them run with the business.
So are you already planting the seed to diversify by letting the team run the business over the next couple of years?
Yes, definitely. I've already got operations people in place. I've got marketing people in place. So,
Right.
I'm hoping, that my main role will transition into coaching and leading the team and developing them and bringing in new talent. Slowly but surely, I think I'm gaining confidence in my agents when they get out there and work on your client. That's the hardest thing to do, right? Give away your client to even your teammate, hoping that they'll take care of it for you. But my team is done. I'm only going to do about 10% of our sales this year. The team will do the rest. So hopefully I'll be out in 2 years.
Awesome, awesome. Long.
Yes, I'm also in production for the same reason a lot of these guys already share. But the other one too is my production have also shifted to a different focus. So for me, I try to meet 1 to 2 new agents a day. So I get to about 8 to 10 a week. I just go network with local agents just to get to know them, learn about them. And because of my role, I also do a lot of recruiting. That's why we're the fastest growing real estate company. So 50% of the agents I meet eventually come and join us because they see what we're doing. So my production just shift a little bit.
Awesome. How many people do you run at your company? How many people are in your company?
There are about 55 people in my company right now.
And how do you find the production time? How do you find the capability to coach, mentor, and be able to support them?
So I think for me, the biggest play in bringing the team members to my team is the fact that I can add value to their business. My pitch always has been is that if I can add value to your business, I do not want to recruit you just to get a percentage of your commission. Another reason why I'm actively in the business. And it's about finding what the problem that they have. I have gone through that before. I've been through the chaos of 2008, so I've literally seen everything that I had to. And so for me, it's about telling me what your problem is, breaking it down to the level where I can solve it for them, and then let them go back and execute it. I believe in creating team members who are self-governing versus micromanaging them all the time. So I'm building a team and individuals of self-governing people, which means that I guide them, coach them, mentor them, but at the end of the day, I'm not here to micromanage every single thing that I ask them to do. Are they doing it or not?
Right.
And that's both for the support staff and the sales staff. And so at that level, it becomes very easy to mentor and guide. And if you see a pattern of people not following up on what you guided them, then they are not your priority down the road. In fact, I look at that even when I'm recruiting. I'm not recruiting every person that I meet, is because I want to see if they are coachable enough, if they have the ambition, they have the drive to take my feedback and act on it, because my time is very important.
So you want to grow at a large scale, but still really focus on that professional.
Absolutely. So I'm very, very clear about the kind of people I work with. It's not about, do I have 500 agents in my team? And that's why the team is still smallish, is because I'm looking for high producers, or even the people who have started, but have the ambition, have the fact that they're willing to take the tough love from me and grow from there. Because if I see somebody who is either super high producer or somebody who does not have the attitude to grow, that's not a right fit for me as a CEO and the owner of the company.
Gotcha, that's a great answer. I got the same question for you because you're 450 plus.
Yeah, for us, because at the end of the day, we're in a people business, so everybody's different. It's not a one-size-fits-all. It's also based on you as a CEO, what stage of your career you're in. So for us, we identified one of the 4 stages where you're at, and we help you with it, and we have people who divide it out to help, just like in the Marine, right? You got your squad, you got your core. So for us, the first challenge most agents have, all you in this room, less than 5 years, is consistent income. Okay, we have a presentation Mike and I are doing tomorrow. We'll go into deeper detail. The second one is efficiency. Now that you're doing 10 deals a year, how can you do 20 without working any harder? The third one is scaling, and then the fourth one is residual income. And that's kind of what we sit down. We break it down, every one, to see, because they're all different, and how to help them. We coach our coaches to coach them below us.
Awesome. You guys feel like you got a mind shift today? All right. Now, let's ask this again. How many of you are single agents in this room? How many of you run a team? How many of you are broker owners? How many of you are the CEOs of your business? Every hand should be up right now. Every single hand should be up right now. The reason that we put this panel together and we called it the CEO panel is because the entire room should be captivated with everything that they're saying. The entire room should be absorbing everything that these guys are saying, because every single one of you have the equal opportunity to build what these amazing people have built. If you can help me by letting them off the stage with a round of applause, I appreciate it.